Good afternoon and welcome to Austria for round 5 of the IFSC Boulder World Cups 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, alongside me today is Alex Kazanov, and we are coming to you live from Innsbruck. Surrounded by snow-capped peaks, Innsbruck is a mecca for mountain sports. From skiing to rock climbing, this city has its covered. Innsbruck lies in the Inn Valley at the junction with the Vip Valley and is home to 125,000 people, giving it a city feel despite its proximity to the great outdoors. It has a long, rich history and is thought to have been inhabited since the Stone Age. We do know that it was certainly a 4th century Roman town, and even now it mixes the modern with history and the mountains with a bustling city. However, for one weekend per year, all else is forgotten as the IFSC comes to town to create its own history and legends. So, my co-commentator Alex Kazanov, you climbed yesterday. Let's get it out of the way. Tell us what happened in the qualifiers for you.
Oh wow, I was so close to being in semis. I was first one out. Unfortunately, I fell in the last move of the last boulder, which was the deal breaker for me, and I couldn't hold the swing, so I didn't make it. I was really close, and I performed really well, so I'm really happy with my performance either way. It's really hard field. It's 110 people, so yeah, I think I did good, and yeah, next time will be even better for me, I think.
So close. But you weren't the only man disappointed with their performance yesterday. Some of the names we're missing. It's unbelievable. We're missing Jan Hoyer, Jörg Verhoeven, Jakob Schubert, Kuro Hori, Jeremy Bondet. Unbelievable list of people missing from this men's semi-final.
It's actually pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of the strong guys didn't make it, but I think it also was about the route setting. In my group, the route setting was a bit better. You had to do just 3 tops, and then it was more about climbing performance, whether either the left group, you had to do 5 tops and not a lot of attempts. So when you need to do that many tops, it becomes a matter of performance and not a matter of who climbs better. So I think, yeah, the stronger guys maybe were not so concentrated.
Yeah, it was certainly a very eventful qualification day. Hope you saw our highlights. But yes, some big names missing. And you can see there the floor of the Olympia Halle. If you've watched World Cups or last year's European Championships from Innsbruck, you'll know that normally the events take place in the Marktplatz, an outdoor venue right in the middle of Innsbruck city centre, but there are some construction works going on this year, and also this will be the venue for the 2018 World Championships. So a combination of the construction and wanting to try the venue out means we've moved inside. As you can see, it is a huge venue.
I think it's actually a better venue, as I think always indoor wall is a bit better and it's a bit more fair for the competitors, as when the wall is outdoors, the weather can really hurt or be an advantage for some other climbers, and I think when it's indoors it's a bit better.
It levels the playing field slightly.
Yeah, it is.
You can see there the clock underneath the scoreboard, 45 seconds before we'll have our first climbers out. Crowd just beginning to fill up. Innsbruck always embraces the IFSC when we're here. It's always one of the most popular events, and we are expecting, if not a sellout tonight, very close, hoping for a sellout. And you might be able to hear in the background the venue MC beginning to build up the tension. Alex, given that we've got some of the biggest names missing, particularly in the men's semis, we will come on to the women's in just a second, but in the men's semis we're missing some of the big names. As we just have a quick look at the start list there, Stefan Skapari will be out first. What effect do you think that will have on the competition? If you're one of the bigger names currently left, do you think, oh no, the big names are getting knocked out, I need to be really careful, or can you be a bit more relaxed?
I think you can be more relaxed, especially the contenders of the overall. They can be more relaxed as some of the other strong guys didn't make it. So, for example, for Alexei or for Tomora, Kukuru, they can be more relaxed. They have less competition for the final. I mean, it's still a comp, and it's still everything can happen here, as it happened yesterday in the qualification. So it's hard to say. It depends on the person, I guess.
So here is Stefan Scarperi.
I think we might see a flashback from last year. Last year, the European Championships were in Innsbruck, and Stevie made it 20th place to the semi-final, like today, and then made it to 6th in the finals, and then made podium. We might see a comeback.
If you didn't watch the European Championships from Innsbruck last year, I suggest you go find the replay, because Stefan Scarperi, who you're watching now, was absolutely superb. Top to boulder. I believe it was boulder 3 with the grey holes. I remember the holes.
White holes.
The white holes. I was standing right underneath it, and I think everybody, including him, thought he was off it, and he just kept pulling out one more move, and he topped it. Great piece of climbing.
That was really cool to see, and it was a really epic moment for sure.
It already feels a long time ago, but myself, Alex, and Stefan, with a couple of others, were having lunch in Japan, and that moment came up, and Stefan said, "Oh yeah, I thought I was off every move." But he just
actually we talk about this moment a lot, about not letting go.
Well, there's a good lesson there for climbers. If you just keep going, one more move might lead to one more. You just never know.
It's all about the try hard. So the first climb here, it's a slab. I mean, it didn't look so hard from the side, but apparently now it looks a bit harder.
Well, what's interesting about this slab, I was chatting to the route setters, the hole that Stefan has just put his right hand on, he's going to have to get his right foot up onto it. There we go, thank you, Stefan. And that requires a bit more flexibility than it initially appears, but no trouble for Stefan. Now this foothold is that his left foot is currently on, he's swapping feet on it now, is relatively good, so he can compose himself, because for the top, it is a jump. See here, he's just trying to figure out how to use that right hand hold, but the route setters envisage, as he slips off, the route setters envisage that he will need to jump for the final hold. It'd be very difficult to do it statically.
I thought actually you need to jump from the right hold with the feet on the right long hold and not just on the left one. The left one looks a bit harder to step on. Also, the last hold is quite new. I think it's the first World Cup they used this hold, so he might he hesitated a little bit because maybe he didn't know the hold is good or not.
One of the interesting elements to this semi-final is that we have some holds that the competitors have not seen before. They've not been part of a World Cup, and there's some quite funky holds there, so the climbers that compete regularly begin to recognize some of the holds.
Actually, there are some
of them today will be new.
There are some Iranian holds in this comp.
Yes, the holds I'm talking about were made by one of our route setters called Fatak. He is from Iran, and he's brought some holds over. You will see them. There aren't any on this problem.
This was talking about. Yeah, I think that's the better way to do the move.
Okay, Stefan Scarperi has 30 seconds to go. If you're wondering why we don't have a female climber out, it's because 21 men qualified for this semi-final. So Stefan will climb on his own, and then we'll be back to normal. No, he doesn't like that. Touch the top hole twice.
I think it's necessary to top this climb in order to advance to the finals. I think, yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So Katrina Posch is out for the women. I mean, she known for her lead competitions. I don't think I've ever seen her in a bouldering comp. So it's interesting to see what she can do in a bouldering field as well.
It will be interesting. 21 years old. She's from Imst, which, if you've been to Innsbruck, you will know is just down the road. So this is pretty much a home competition for her. We will be going to Imst, her real hometown, in August, I believe it is, for a lead event. But this is pretty close to a home competition, about 40 k's away, Imst. So be plenty of support for her. Now this is an interesting boulder women's one. The start, the route setters, they believe that the climbers will face in, but it can be done facing out. Be interested to see a bit more of that. Here's Dave Barons.
35 years old, actually. One of the older guys competing in the World Cup. He was third, I believe, in the World Championships in 2009, which was really long time ago. And he's still doing it. I mean, he still makes semis pretty much every comp he enters, so it's impressive.
He was third in the World Championships in 2009. Only been to Meiringen so far. He was 16th there this year. He looks quite composed on this slab.
The Brits known for their slab climbing. I was in a competition in Sheffield in the beginning of the year, and there are so many slabs there.
One notable absentee from the women's semi-final is any slabs. We don't have any slabs whatsoever in the 4 boulders for the women today.
Well, it's not really true, actually. The second boulder, it's not a classic slab, but it's really technical. The volumes makes it a bit more like slab climbing, because you need to climb it without hands, but we will get there soon.
You can see it just to the right. Just the right of Katarina. It is an overhanging wall, but I take your point. It is certainly a technical balancing move to start, but it's not strictly, it's not a slab, and the women don't have a true slab today. For the finals, we'll have to wait and see. So no top so far.
I think it's a matter of time. We'll see a top of both problems pretty soon.
Dave Barons
changing his tactic here.
And that is about as close as he will get without topping it.
That was really close. I think he should have jumped with his other hand as well, and then he would do it for sure, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Now there's some cunning, we see Katarina tried again, some cunning route setting here on this boulder, women's one, because the further the competitors move before the jump, the worse their balance is, but obviously conversely the closer they are to the holds they're aiming for, and that was intentional from the route setters. They wanted the climbers to manage risk and reward. How much do you move before you jump? Be interesting to see the different tactics.
I think it's a matter of confidence. Yes! Top, Dave Barons.
Great from Dave Barons. Latched it with the left hand, and as you thought he might, followed it quickly with the right.
Really good top for him.
Has a quick look at his scorecard, probably just confirming his number of attempts. Let's have another look at that. Yeah, the right hand.
It's a good hold though. You could hold it with one hand, so.
The right hand just brushed against the hold, and you thought, here we see it, but the left was good enough that he was able to hold it. Men's boulder one, I think we will see quite a few tops on that.
So I think you'll need quite a few tops to advance to the finals, maybe around 3 tops.
It's very early to say, first boulder, but you suspect that to make the final, the men will need to get to the top of that first boulder. But we shall see.
British Leah Crane and French Manu Cornu here. Leah Crane does really good actually this year. I think she's been in most of the semifinals, if not all of them.
She has been in all of them, yeah. She's joined 11th in Meiringen, 14th in Kazo, 17th in Chongqing, and then 11th just 6 days ago in Mumbai. So
that's really impressive, actually. This year it's really hard to be consistent in the World Cups, and if you're doing semi-final in all the World Cup, that means you are in there. It means that you're 100% capable of doing it, and maybe even more.
See Leah here, first attempt at that jump left. Yes, she's been, as you can hear from her results, very consistent this year.
I think most of the girls are trying to avoid doing it statically, and they were trying to do it dynamically, but I think you need to advance to the left hold a bit slower. That was good.
So Leah makes it work. She went from quite far over to the right, took a bigger jump. It's working for her. A lot of body tension required in the top half of this boulder.
Not an easy move here.
Makes it look easy though.
Good job. Really good job.
Not much emotion from Leah. No doubt she will be delighted.
Marnu Karnu just top number 1. So, yeah, a flash, I believe.
We'll see that again.
The French team known to be good, to do good on this technical, specific comp style boulders. They all live in the same place and they train in the special gym that that is there just for their national team with their own setters and their own trainers, and they train a lot this specific comp style, and we can see the results. I mean, the French team is dominating in the last year and they're doing extremely well in all the comps.
Yeah, the only notable absentee on the male side from France, you'd have to say Jeremy Pondé.
But I don't think he needs to be really upset. I mean, Jeremy does all the World Cup, and because there's 7 World Cups, the worst result is not counted for the overall.
Now, first look at one of these holds we were talking about from Fatak, our Iranian route setter. You may be able to... close from Stefan. You may be able to tell the large black volume he's holding before he lunges for the top. Really unusual hold. The part that has friction has plenty of friction, but the rest of it is smooth. There's 0 friction, 0 grips. You have to grab it very specifically. We didn't quite see it there. We'll see it again on this next attempt. So you have to be very accurate, very decisive. Usually there's only one way to grab these holds, and they're going to make an extremely interesting feature of this semi-final.
I mean, it's also hard for the athletes. Usually the athletes know all the holds. Usually it's the same brands of hold, depends on the route setter, because a lot of the time the route setter brings his own holds. And here is like a new hold for everyone. So nobody knows it. Nobody knows if it's good to jump to or jump from, and it makes it a bit more interesting, more like going outdoors and climbing a new problem.
As you can see, as the crane camera pans over, the venue is beginning to fill up. I suspect tonight is going to be a fairly rowdy occasion. It always is in Innsbruck. The athletes will be desperate to get there because it's a very special place to be in a final. There we have a good look at the hold. So you can see where his left hand is, where it's grayer. You can grip the hold. Much more control from Stefan.
Stevie that was really impressive. A really good performance.
It would be great if we could see him in the final, because as I say, last year, European Championship final, he was a real entertainer. I think he'd be a popular addition to the final here, but he's got to earn it. And he didn't top Boulder 1, and you wonder if that might come back to haunt him.
It is his first semi-final this year. So it would be cool to see him in the finals as well.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's actually his first semi-final this year, Stefan. He's done no better than 35th in Chongqing, so he'll beat that.
Kypros is for the men.
And Alan Ayip for the women.
both strong climbers. Kipras made it to semi-final in the only World Cup he entered this year in Meringen, and now it's the second World Cup semi-final and second World Cup of the year. He can be really happy about it.
So Alena, she's been in 4 finals out of 5, including this one. Chongqing was the only one she missed, and she was 21st. Worst place to finish in the qualifiers. 4 out of 5 finals, a bit like we were saying with Leah Crane. Very consistent climbing and excellent piece of climbing for Alena. You can see her there as we pan out. As I said earlier, real body retention required for this top half. What will she do here? Drop the knee? No, she's going to go straight for it. Very controlled.
Flash for her. That was really impressive.
Well, Leah Crane also topped that boulder. Look. Much less emotional. Big smile from Alena. So already from what we've seen, it would appear that if you want to make the final, you need to top boulder 1. We could be wrong. It's extremely early days, but with
You need to top boulder 1, 100%.
with 2 tops on both.
100%.
And this is our first look at women's 2. As I say, it's not a slab. We can't call it a slab, but as Alex rightly pointed out, it's almost a slabby move to start.
You can always count on Jackie, the chief fruit setter here, to put something technical. He lives in Fontainebleau and he climbed there all his life, so when Jackie sets, you always can count on something technical, fontish, really hard. Me personally, I lost like 2 youth European championships because of Jackie slabs, so they are my nemesis.
So you won't be buying him a beer tonight at the after party?
I will, because he's a cool guy, but yeah.
As we see Katarina Posch. Now this is the hole she has her right hand on is another one of these holes. See it there, you can only grab it very specifically, and the finishing hold as well. Top from Katarina. Bit of a wobble, that right foot wouldn't stick, but it worked in the end. So lots of tops already.
I think it's actually good to see some tops, because the last 3 World Cups, the semi-finals were really hard. Especially India, the semi-final for the men was extremely hard. A lot of athletes didn't even make a bonus.
So here's Kipras Baltrunas, we mentioned him earlier. Number 21, nearest to camera. We see Dave Barons
Trying really hard there, and
trying very hard, boulder 2. Here's Kipras.
jumping to the top. Good job. Yeah, Kipras is really strong on the slabs. I trained with him in Latvia, with him and Roland Rugens before the World Cup started. And we trained a lot of slabs together, and it was extremely good. Like, no chance for me doing his slabs.
Dave
Dave
Barons,
is
all on his lonesome on the stage.
preparing for his last go. It's actually interesting. I mean, it's really, really hard to prepare yourself for the last go when you know it's your last try, and you go for it, and it's hard.
Might not be his last try. We thought it would be. Physical boulder this.
But he wasn't 100% there, because then that's why he fell.
Again, a lot of body tension required. It's quite a feature of the boulders today, and this one is a good example of that. So close from Dave Barons. The route setters believe that move to the top will be a double dyno. You're going for 2 holds, not 1 hold.
Stevie actually
It'll be
did
one
it
movement.
statically.
I know, but he did do it statically, but the route setters believed that it would be a double dyno, so it'll be interesting. Dave Barons certainly tried it that way.
Keeper splashed the slab, by the way.
It's, although it's physically not a long boulder, that men's one, you're on it for a long time. You need to be patient, figure out exactly how to move, where to place the feet. So even though he'd been out a couple of minutes by the time we saw him, it was actually a flash. So, Berit Schweiger.
Not the first semi-final this year. She knows the field. She trains here in Tivoli, which is the local climbing gym here in Innsbruck, which is located maybe less than 100 meters from the venue. It's really like a home turf for her. And you can see it in her performance. She really feels comfortable.
Well, this is her fourth semi-final out of 5. Missed out in Meiringen in 31st there, but since then it's been 11th in Kazo, 15th in Chongqing, and 12th last week in Mumbai. So a bit like Leah Crane, who's just to her right, solidly semi-finalist, Berit. Looks very happy with that.
Yeah, she needs to be. Now here's Stevie progressing on the volume problem of men's number 3.
It's a compression boulder, this. It's quite interesting with the volumes because it is immediately obvious what the best way to do it is, the best way to hold each volume. So it'll require a bit of thought. It's quite powerful.
We have a number 1, Andre from Canada. So he made a semi-final in 2009, and then he made a semi-final in 2015, and this is his 3rd, I believe, which is really impressive. I mean, the dedication of this guy, just going every year until he makes it.
Yep.
Stefan going again. It's really hard compression climbing here. You get really tired in your chest, so I think you can't spend too many goes on this climb. You need to be really calculated and when you rest and when you climb.
Remember, Stefan Scarperi, he did not top boulder 1, and we fear that might come back to haunt him as we see Leah Crane.
2nd top for her.
2 out of 2 for Leah.
Really good start for the comp.
Doesn't get much better. She looked very composed moving over left there. Really the only sign of emotion from her so far. Quick slap of the wall. Great top there from Andre.
Great top.
As we see Manuel Cornu on men's 2. Before that though, we watch a replay. You see how far that jump is.
Yeah, it's really, really far. Actually, it's like half of the wall.
It's not really a jump, I suppose. You don't, your feet semi stay on the wall, but it's a lunge.
It's far. It feels like a jump when you're there. It's far. See how better the holds are.
Now Stefan did this. Stefan Scarperi, who you see in the background.
Yes.
Topping boulder 3.
That was really, really impressive jump to the top. He can be really happy with this. Really happy.
As we hear Manuel Cornu slapping the mat as well as seeing it.
Also, all the athletes are staying in the same room in the back, so they know when every athlete is coming back, and if an athlete came back before the 5 minutes, they all know that the problem was stopped. So some of the athletes, they take it as an advantage and they know they need to top, and some actually prefer to not look at the athletes coming back or not, so they can focus on their own performance. It's a really hard mental game out there.
So Katarina Andreeva, furthest left lady there,
good to see her back in the World Cups. It's first World Cup this year. I think one of the reasons she didn't do World Cups this year is the lack of support at the Russian Federation. She did a comp in Latvia before the World Cups that I competed there, and she was really strong and in really good form. And she told me that she's not doing the World Cups because it's hard for her to afford going to all the comps, especially now with the financial problems in Russia and also the lack of support. They actually need to pay the IFSC to sign themselves for the comps, as the federation is not even paying the signing fee.
Political stuff. Dare we go there on the politics of climbing?
Yeah, there's a lot of politics in every country actually. It's actually really hard to do World Cups if you live in certain countries, and really easy to do World Cups if you live in the others. I mean, even if you're a World Cup champion like Alexei, he worked the whole year in his gym in order to afford going for the whole World Cups. He doesn't get any support, and he had to pay for himself, and he won a World Cup, so.
Very true. Very true. Difficult for some of the Russian climbers. Great to have Ekaterina back though.
Another example of the French team ability to climb slabs and climbing specific problems, like climbing competition specific problems.
Yeah, Michael Marwen was out, been and gone.
Was really fast.
Was fast. Here's Dave Barons on the compression.
He didn't do
compression-based and power-based men's 3.
He didn't do problem 2, so he really needs to do this one in order to very good. Second top for him. You can see how better the volumes are. Even if we see a lot of tops, still doesn't mean that the problems are easy. They are really hard, and the holds are really bad. Just the climbers are really strong, that's all.
Here's Katarina Posch, women's 3. Very powerful bowler this.
It's actually interesting to see the difference between the European style of setting and the setting we've seen in the Asian comps in the last few weeks.
Now that second white hold, it's much better than the first, so she's got her hands on that. You fancy her chances here? There she has it.
Second top for her. Good job. Yeah, the problems look slightly easier than the last semifinals. Kind of good for a change. It's nice to see tops.
It's great to see lots of tops.
I think it's going to be a bit boring if you see 4 girls climbing 4 problems and none of them can do any top.
As we see a Katerina Andreeva topping out. Women's 1. She's doesn't compete regularly, but worth bearing in mind, 3 years ago, European Championship, she came 6th.
Oh,
maybe a slight surprise to make a final, but not a huge surprise.
I saw her climbing a few months ago, and yeah, she is really strong. And also the Russians known for their good mental game. She can hold this. She can.
Now, there's an interesting point here. You see the 5 bolts on hold just above Elena Yip's left-hander. They are because the wall, just from how it's constructed, features a good crimp. And the route setters wanted to rule it out, so they put those 5 holds on there.
It's also
so that the crimp couldn't be used, and also to confuse the climbers slightly.
It's more about Jackie trying to be artistic.
And aesthetics. It looks nice.
My big brother is the chief setter in Israel, and he known to do all this like art in his setting. he likes to do faces and yeah, just doing good-looking problems. So some setters really like the challenge to do something that looks beautiful from the outside.
It's Berit Schweiger. Leah Crane here, 2 for 2 so far.
This last move here, it's on M3. It's a confusing one. It is a challenge.
Needs to be very accurate.
The solution we've seen here is to jump 2 hands to the last hold in order to hold the swing. So the athletes need to understand and go for it with 2 hands.
Berit Schweiger just
out.
taking a rest.
Here's Tasha, the youth world champion. She's a rising star actually. She was in finals in Munich last year. She's really, really good. Trains with Janja Garbret together in the same team, in the same coach. And yeah, you can see how strong she is here. She actually did better than Miho Nonaka in the Youth World Championships in Arco. So she is a contender here for making finals and podium.
She absolutely is. She is from Serbia but moved to Slovenia to train. Changed her school, learnt a new language. That is dedication. See Berit Schweiger.
Top number 2.
She's from the town of Telfs, which is 25 kilometers from Innsbruck. So this is very much a home World Cup for her.
So a small update on the girls' results. So you see Berit, she's in first place with 2 flashes here. Then Leah Crane with 2 and 4, and then Katrina Porsche with 2 and 4 as well. Just a bit less bonuses.
Right. Well, I was just going to say, Leah Crane, she's been out top 2 boulders, but without showing much emotion. That's probably why, because she knows she's going to need to top at least 3, you would imagine. Long way to go as we see Stefan Scarperi on men's 4. Interesting boulder that. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of it later on.
I think M4 is the hardest boulder for the men. I think actually I like the setting. Until now it goes well. We see tops, we see a lot of action. Jackie did a really good job. Also, I think for the setter was a bit easier to set in Asia. The weather here did not change. It's indoor wall. It's really pleasant weather. It's not cold. It's not hot. They had all those holes, all this like conditions to set good boulders.
So if you are just joining us, we're coming to you live from Innsbruck, legendary climbing town, legendary host of IFSC events. Alex Kazanov joining me. So far we're seeing, I think it'd be fair to say, quite a lot of tops. Not one there, but we think you're going to need to top at least 3 boulders.
You see
rest of the final.
bit of tactics here. He knew that he couldn't top this boulder. It was a bit too hard for him. So he decided to take some more rest in order to do the next one. It's actually really hard to do 5 minutes on the boulder and then 5 minutes rest and 5 minutes in another boulder.
So just made the calculate. As we watch Stefan Scarperi, we'll come back. I was going to say, you make the calculation, I suppose, that it's just not worth the use of energy.
It's true. Stevie a bit too tired, but he did a good job. Currently sitting in 3rd place, I believe, and 2 tops and 6.
2 tops. You fear for Stefan Scarperi that might not be enough.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't top the first boulder. I think it's a really important boulder to do. So good to see Tito Clarion back in the World Cup circuit. It's a really, really experienced guy who did a lot of competitions in his life.
We see him there, men's one. So this is Katarina Posch. One of many Austrian climbers.
It's interesting to see that in the European competitions, because they're closer to some athletes, so we see more athletes that are not doing the whole circuit, and they are really strong and fresh compared to the guys who did all the Asian comps. And we can see in the semifinal a lot of athletes are not doing the whole circuit and are performing really well. So some of this is because they are fresh, and some of this because, yeah, some local Austrian climbers, and I think it might be the hardest World Cup of the year for some athletes.
Absolutely, fatigue will be beginning to kick in as well.
I talked to Alexei yesterday, and he told me he's already really tired after 4 World Cups, and yeah, it feels like he needs to rest a bit more, but he can't because of all the comps. But that's what it takes to win the overall. Sometimes you need to perform a bit, to do a bit less in certain comp to do better in the overall. But this is part of the game.
Worth remembering that we're on our 5th Boulder World Cup already this season, but there was also a Masters event, not a World Cup, in Nanjing on the 1 week that's been free, and Sean McCall and Rustam Gelmanov, amongst others, also went to that. So for some climbers, this is week 6 in a row.
Actually, both of them didn't make finals in that comp.
No, they didn't. I didn't want to say it, actually, because I don't think either of them was over the moon about giving up an extra week away from home and then not to make the final, but you're absolutely right, they didn't make the final. Steve Mawem.
It's a really strong climber, really physical. You can see his training videos on his Instagram, doing a really crazy stuff on the campus board. Really impressive to see. Make sure you follow all those athletes. Their videos are really inspiring. Their training videos are really cool to see. And yeah, it's good to be updated in their lives.
Top there from Chiazza Slemense. You're absolutely right. You can learn a lot from following the social media about people's moods. A lot of the climbers, they post pretty much immediately after they've finished. Most of them are pretty honest about how they feel about the whole thing. Can be fascinating. So Katarina Andreeva not getting on too well so far with women's 2.
Actually, it's funny, the women 4 looks almost the same as the men 4 semi-final in the European Championships. It's the same holds, exactly the same holds, but just in a bit different order.
Another boulder requiring body tension. It's a recurring theme today. Katarina Posch has obviously got it. Top
She
for
can
her.
be really happy with the 3rd top. Really happy.
Shot of the crowd there. It's a beautiful day here in Innsbruck. But despite that, a lot of climbers have taken the day off the rock themselves to come and watch the best in the world, and understandably so.
She's currently sitting in 1st place now after the stop, so she can be really happy. Tito Clarion here, bit of one of the bigger guys of the World Cup. Yeah, we can see him just reaching for this hold.
That was as close to a static move as I think we're likely to see on men's 1. As we see Dave Barron's, men's 4, this is an interesting boulder. There's so many different ways to do it. All of them pretty physical. Some climbers might not even use that hold that we saw Dave on there. He's out of time. So 2 tops from Dave. So far, nobody has more than 2 tops in the men's competition, but I suspect 3 might be required for the final. We could be wrong.
I said in the beginning of the comp 3 tops and not a lot of attempts, and I still think that 3 tops and not a lot of attempts will give you a ticket to the final.
We have seen a few climbers now, and no more than 2 tops in the men's competition, but yeah, we suspect 3 will be required. You'd never know.
As for the girls, 3 tops and not a lot of attempts might be enough. But again, not a lot of attempts. You cannot miss attempts.
The generally steep nature of the wall will rule out having a lot of attempts, so there's no slabby problem where you can take a run at it or it's not using a lot of energy. All these boulders are physical, so it'll be about energy conservation, sensible use of your attempts.
Here's another really strong climber, Alban Lavier. Is my twin, actually. We look kind of like. Yeah, he is one of the strongest climbers in the World Cup. He won the World Cup in Toronto last year. He did an amazing season last year. He was one of the contenders to win the overall this year. I decided to skip India as he was really tired of all the traveling to do better here. Let's see how it goes for him in this comp, but he definitely is a contender. See a really hard move and really hard problem in the M4 here.
You can see the fatigue on Manuel's face there. As we see Leah Crane, women's 4.
Just
She
pushing it.
If she tops this, she could be a very strong contender for a final place. It would be her first this year. She's made every semi, but no finals.
I think it's also a big mental barrier for some people never made finals. It's really hard to make the first final, but after they do that, it's a bit easier for them. As the semifinals, you feel more confident, you feel you can do it, and then you climb differently. I know I talked to some of the stronger contenders to win the comp, but they said, as for the Japanese guys as well, when you win more than 2 comps or your finals more than 2 comps in a row, you get this confidence, and it's a different mind game, and you can do way better in a lot of the comps.
As you see, Leah's compatriot, Michaela Tracy, up to the bonus. Just needs to hold. Body tension, no problem. Top from Michaela Tracy. Been another semi-finalist, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. Close, very close. See Andre Deflis of Canada on the compression-based boulder of men's 3. I was about to say Michaela Tracy, who's already in, home and hosed from women's 1. She's been 8th in Meiringen, 7th in Gazo and 10th in Chongqing. She didn't come to Mumbai, so extremely consistent. Top half of every semi-final without making a final. It's today her day. Stasagio. Those 5 bolts on holes we talked about earlier, the route setters put them on there to close off the natural crimp on the wall.
Stasha is looking really strong here. Tough for her. Good job.
And if you're just joining us and wondering why the holes look so shiny, one of our route setters, Fatak, he's from Iran, he's brought some holes over, and they have areas of high friction and then completely slippery, useless parts. So you can only grab them in very specific places, in very specific ways. And that black hole was one of them.
Alban, 50 seconds to go, finishes the problem.
And the left hand of Dmitry Sharafutinov that we see there on that black hole, he's also on one of Fatak's holes. And that is as far as he gets.
So no top on men 2, except the top of Stevie. Yeah, really hard move at the top there.
So just to update you, we saw her on women's 4. Leah Crane did not top that boulder. Very close. She had her hands on the 2 black and grey volumes that you can see there above the brusher.
No finals for her, but she can be really happy that she made the semi-finals again, so at least something. Actually, the feeling of climbing in a semi-final in Innsbruck is almost like a feeling of climbing in a final. There's so many people already in watching, and it's crazy.
The hall is filling up by the minute, but yeah, there are more people here than there are in many of the finals we have. As you see, catches Alvine there.
The local hero lives in Innsbruck.
She does. It was great today to see lots of the athletes arriving on their bikes.
Just for you to know, as expected, if somebody had doubts, Tomoa Narasaki just flashed number 1.
Tomoa Narasaki emerging as a genuine threat.
I don't know what this guy eats, but he jumps so high.
Here's Katja. Can she make the perfect start to her home World Cup? She can.
Good job.
She knows she's going to need plenty of tops. No point getting too excited just yet, but she'll be happy with that. Takes a scorecard with over 3 minutes left of the round, and she's in. We are sharing our live feed, well, we're being provided our live feed, I should say, by ORF, Austrian television channel, so if they do focus on the Austrian athletes, that is why, as we see it.
Here's a replay of Tomoa.
Replay of Tomoa, nearly went past the hold, as you say. Explosive strength there, technique.
You can go into the Tomoa's Instagram account and see him doing backflip on the top of boulders and jumping down and up and down. This guy knows how to jump.
Very athletic climber. Don't forget, he won in Chongqing, backed it up with second place in Mumbai.
He's ranked 3rd now in the overall ranking, and he's a really strong contender to win the overall. And yeah.
The men's competition, the first 3 events, it was absolute chaos, but we are beginning to see some sort of pattern, and one of the patterns is the Japanese climbers look extremely strong this year. Tomoa Narasaki, Kokoro Fuji, last week's winner, both leading that charge.
I think they also have a really big team, and they have a lot of money now because of the Olympics, and yeah, the federation is really supporting the athletes.
There's Veko Mawem. Don't need me to tell you who's happy about that one.
Yeah, he is.
Bang, once that left hand landed, it wasn't going anywhere.
This top will bring him into 2nd place now in the current ranking, just after his teammate Manu Kurnu. Both with 2 tops, so no more than 2 tops for the men now. But the field is still open, and there are a lot of guys left.
Kipras Baltrunas here, men's 4. Really interesting boulder. We'll see more of it as this semi-final progresses. But lots of different ways of doing it.
Really diverse semi-final for the men, a lot of styles, slab, crimps, volumes, overhanging, powerful climb.
Probably part of the reason we haven't seen more than 2 tops yet. Worth bearing in mind just how much action is still to come though. I'm sure that will change. Here's Alana Yip, women's 4.
Lives in Vancouver. Really strong climber from Canada. Canadian national champion, I believe.
Not heard today, excuse me. 1 top, that was boulder 1.
Still, semi-final for her, it's pretty good.
She'll be very happy with that.
So Katrina Posch is still the only girl who top 3 boulders for the girls, but can change now if Stasha will finish this one.
You get some idea from that camera shot just how huge this venue is. Those lights that were just on the left before we zoomed in is the drink stand that marks the end of the standing area, and then we can see the huge seating area behind.
It's the Olympic Stadium. I mean, it's big. It is the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah, Innsbruck's hosted 2 Winter Olympics, and this hall hosted many of the events. And remember, we will be back here 2018 for the World Championships. My word, we have a lot of climbing to do before then.
A lot of climbing.
So Berit Schweiger jumping on at the start of women's 4.
It was pretty dramatic entrance. Look at the flexibility here. The athletes are not only training power, they're doing flexibility, aerobics, yeah, power training, climbing training. There's so much training involved in doing those stuff.
The weak point of many amateur climbers is flexibility, but you can see there just how useful it is.
Another contender, the World Cup leader, the current World Cup leader, Kokoro Fuji. No problems on M1.
Petra Klingler, similarly, having seemingly no issues so far on women's 1. Just has a look, looking for that black bolt on the yellow volume. She has it. Set herself and latches the top hold.
Yeah,
Petra Klingler, 1 top, 1 boulder.
There you go, Berit on the back on moving 4. It's a pretty overhanging wall. I mean, the volumes makes it a bit more technical, but it's still pretty overhanging, around 30 degrees. So when she catches those big slopers, they are really bad.
Just off screen, you may have heard it. There he is, Dmitry Sharafutinov. Tops, boulder 3. So that is funny, 2 tops from him so far.
A few days ago, I was talking with my friend Roland Rugens about when we started climbing, and Roland was like, "Yeah, I'm climbing for 15 years since 2001," and I was like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm climbing from 2006. I'm not really long time compared to other guys." And then Dimitri suddenly came, and we were like, "You both kids, I climbed since 1989."
1989. The majority of our competitors weren't alive then.
So yeah, Dimitri climbs for that long. It's since he was 3 years old. Oh, he's definitely one of the most experienced climbers. They're crazy.
Extraordinarily experienced, Dmitry Sharafutinov. Won the overall Boulder World Cup 2013.
3-time world champion. So we had 8 world champions. We had 8 world championships. We had 5 Russians. 5 Russian wins. 3 of them is Dimitri.
Yeah, he seems to enjoy the World Championships. There's Michaela Tracy, looking very happy with her top of Boulder 2.
Dimitri is one of the smartest guys when concerned training. He knows when to be in the best shape, and he knows that he can be in really, really good shape for one comp, and it's going to be the World Championships. And yeah, it's interesting. I mean, to see some of the top climbers here are saving themselves for the World Championships in Paris this year and not giving 100% in all the comps.
Yes, remember in September we will have the best part of a week of competition in Paris for the World Championships 2016.
20 seconds left to Alban Lavier to finish this climb. It's going to be really hard for him. Doesn't look like this is his day today. But there are 2 more problems to go, so hopefully he can do them fast and make it finals.
So still no more than 2 tops from any climber in the men's competition. and Katarina Posch, the only woman with more than 2 tops.
So Gabri Moroni is out. We call him in the World Cup circuit the Old Lion, as he's one of the older competitors, and he always coming back and he always strong. He just did 8C boulder in Magic Wood in 2 days, called Practice of the Wild. So he told me before the comp that in his best shape of his life. He was 7th in Meringen, so hopefully he can make finals in this comp. I would love to see him in finals.
He is one of those climbers that never seems to be off form.
Definitely not. He's a legend. Gabri is a legend of a sport. In 2008, he was 2nd in Vail, you know, and he might be 2nd today. It was 8 years later.
As we get our first chance to see Solsa, she looked very strong last week in Mumbai. I have to say, I actually thought she might take the win in the final, but no, she ended up 5th. But
the final in India was really tricky, so it was really hard to know who will win. It was a bit too hard, maybe.
As there's Gabriel Moroni, we were just discussing him. No problem. Men's 1. So that's been a popular bowl at the top. Stefan Scarperi is currently sitting in 5th. He didn't top it, and had he done, he would now be in the lead. Might be kicking himself about that as we watch Solsa very smoothly making her way at women's 1 in the bag.
Easy. Yeah, she got a really strong training partner and a life partner.
She does. If you don't follow Solsa or Jongwon Chon on social media, you may not know, but they are partners in life and training. Jongwon Chon, reigning overall Boulder World Cup champion. Not a bad training partner as they go. Here's Katja Zavard. She hasn't got a bad training partner either. Jorg Verhoeven didn't make the semis today.
Actually, she trains in the Tivoli gym together with a lot of strong climbers, including Jakob Schubert, Michel Picoraz. So yeah, she got really good training partners.
She has got good training partners.
The good thing to live in Innsbruck, it's maybe the wall is not super good for the World Cup training, but because it's small, but the climbers here are really strong. And when you have a strong climbing partner, it's important. For me, for example, I train by myself the whole year in a commercial gym, so it's a bit hard for me to keep motivating and keep pushing myself. So I mainly do physical training. It's hard for me to do a lot of climbing as I don't have anyone to push me, and I really miss that. And when you have a really good training partner, you can really push yourself in every training. Tito Clarion, not the top for him. The 2nd top. Jumping into 3rd place. We have 4 French guys in the top 5 now. See if it
they're having an exceptional season.
Well, they are, but they're also really working hard for it. I mean, the facility, the way they travel. I mean, they get paid for everything. They have their own trainers, so they don't need to think about logistics and where to sleep and where to stay. For the guys who travel by their own, we need to think where we're gonna stay, to book our own tickets, our own flights, and it's hard. It's time consuming, and
it's time consuming. It takes up your energy.
Yeah,
it takes up your brain power. If someone does it for you, you just concentrate on the job in hand, and it's working for the French. As we see Katja Zavard, time you wouldn't have thought will be an issue, unless she doesn't make it this time, in which case it will become an issue. No
but
such
she
problem.
does. Oh, the Austrian crowd here is really happy with her top.
As I mentioned earlier, we are having our live pictures provided by ORF, the Austrian TV station. So if there is a slight concentration on Austrian athletes, that's why. And they're climbing as well as Katja Zavard is recently, though. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, the semi-final are streamed in the national TV in Austria. So this is how big the sport is in this country. The climbing here has been a part of their daily life for a really long time, especially Innsbruck, which is in the middle of the Alps. And so, yeah, the people here are really excited about the World Cup every year, and there's a lot of money involved and just a lot of support from the government, federation, the people. I mean, so you can see in the venue, you can see in the wall. The wall is one of the best climbing wall, like competition walls on the year. Yeah, it's a great event.
Climbing very much part of this city, a big part of this city. There's some crags that are walking distance from the city centre. And in the greater Tyrol region, there are literally hundreds of crags. The sport climbing guidebook takes up most of one of the shelves of my bookcase.
So there's Dimitri trying to understand what to do in the beginning of this tricky boulder, M4.
Now that is an interesting way to do it. It will have to turn round to face the other way though. But as we discussed earlier, Dmitry Sharafutinov not short of experience. He'll find a way, and he has done.
Let's see if he can do the rest. We saw a lot of people struggling in this next move here. See how bad is the hold. No problem for him. Let's see if he can.
Now this is a poor hold that he's going for.
Dimitri's so strong.
We just got a glimpse of his face, and he was grimacing. You'd have thought he'll bring it home from here. He will.
Third top for him.
Dmitry Sharafutinov, that is the first man to top 3 bowlers in this semi-final.
The first man to top number 4. He can be really happy with his performance. I think it might be enough for final. We need to wait, but I think it might be. 3 tops should be enough for him.
Sasha Guillot here in the foreground, topping
also
women's 4.
Also, 3rd top for her. She's sitting in 1st place and 3 tops in 4.
Just moved ahead of Katarina Posch.
Roland
Rugens, finalist in Kazo. No trouble with men's 1.
Really happy with this. Megan Mascarenas as well. Topping a lot of tops and simultaneously. It's hard to keep up.
The poor cameraman.
Roland Rugens. Actually, yeah, my personal friend. He's one of the more like talented climbers. Made his first final in Kazo this year after winning 3 qualifications rounds before. Really happy to see him in his best shape yet, making consistent semi-finals and final, and yeah, he's a contender to make final again.
A flourish of activity there. The poor Austrian director just about kept up. We managed to see every top. We can ever so slightly pause for breath.
Yeah, Kukuru, just for information, Kukuru fell from the last hold, grabbing with his hand the last hold of this bowler, so he's looking to finish it now. He did try to jump straight to the last hold, but
he'll have time for another attempt. Don't forget, hard to believe it was only 6 days ago he won in Mumbai.
6 days ago, it's crazy.
The final was Sunday night in Mumbai.
They're not getting any training.
They're not. I don't think they're getting a lot of sleep.
I really hope so. Actually, the food in Innsbruck is not a problem, so at least they don't need to worry about this like they worried about in India. As a lot of the athletes got food poisoning, and that was a mess.
I have to say, as a man who escaped any illness whatsoever in the month-long trip to Asia, the food in India was absolutely superb. But I don't think it was not always ideal for athletic performance, lots of curries, but
I love Indian food personally, so
it was great for us.
For me personally, I skipped the World Cup in India as well in order to rest a little bit more for this one. It's really tiring to do so many comps in a row.
We won't have any more tops after a flurry early on in that round.
3, 2, 1.
it's I don't know why the IFSC does all those comps so close together. Because after Vail we will have a 1.5 months break until Munich. It would have been better to do a 2 weeks break in every comp, or maybe do the like European comps together, Asian comps together. But you go back and forth, it's really hard. Some of the guys actually went to China, came back to Europe, went to India, came back to Europe. It's a lot of planes, a lot of planes.
Does begin to take its toll.
I spent 38 hours in planes in the last circuit to go to Switzerland, Japan, China. 38 hours sitting in planes, it's a bit too much.
Yeah, on our tour of Asia, as well as the competitions, we also added Shanghai and Bangkok to our list of places that we travel to. So I'm afraid you get no sympathy from me, but I appreciate it does affect athletic performance.
Tomoe and Arasaki back here again, looking to finish this top. No problem.
So that will be
second flash for him, I believe.
That will be 2 tops from 3 so far. He hasn't been on to boulder 4 just yet. So Dmitry Sharafutanov currently sitting top, 3 tops.
Tomoe in second, 2 flashes.
As we cut to Tiaza Slemenzek.
Also trained with Tiania and Stasha in the same team. Also a second World Cup for her.
This does
Good
look
job
promising.
Making semis here. We saw Katrina Posch topping it earlier, and she knew the holds, so she held the screw-ons there, and it was better for Michael Picoleraz.
Yes, my co-commentator Alex Kazanov abandoning any ideas of being neutral. Misha, one of your closest friends, you'll be happy with that?
Yeah, I'm super happy. Also, he lives in Innsbruck, by the way. It took me 4 minutes to get here from his apartment by skateboard. So it's really his home turf as well. He's from northern Italy and he studies in Innsbruck now. So
as we watch Sol Sa
topping it. Not a lot of problems for her. Maybe she's looking for another final.
Yeah, 2 tops from 2 so far for her.
I saw Salsa training, and when I was in this trip to Japan and China, and she looked extremely strong in the training sessions, and it was really unlucky to her not making finals like consistently. And I think it was a matter of her mental game there. And now when she's a bit more confident, she can focus more and perform better.
As we see Katja Zalvine just up, move up with the right hand, causing a few problems, looking to make her second final in 6 days.
Lead climbing star Jessie Pills here on boulder number 1. She's actually a lead climber. She made, I think, maybe every podium in the Lead World Cup last year. She's
made every final in the Lead
final,
World Cup.
yeah.
Incredibly consistent and not having too much trouble with bouldering.
Well, I mean, we've seen a few lead climbers competing in here in Innsbruck because it's just before the lead season, so they are in a power phase maybe, and it's good for them. Like Domen Skofic is competed here, unfortunately didn't make semis, but Jakob Schubert as well. And yeah, you need to do bouldering to do well in lead. So it's not a really big surprise that they are strong, but it is really cool to see them competing and performing well in this bit different mind game.
As we see Katja Zalvine, look like she's struggling, but that left foot stabilizes. She goes up with the right hand, switches the left to an undercling.
You see how bad the screw-ons are. They're totally flat. Also, they have 2 textures, so it's hard to hold them.
She holds it this time, though. This will be 3 from 3 if she can stick it. She's got 5 seconds left. No. She knows how close that was, and also potentially how crucial that was.
Was really crucial.
She's currently
Really
sitting
crucial.
in 5th. You suspect, had she topped that, that might have got her into the final. As
Well,
we
she-
have a quick look at the men's. Dmitry Cherefutanov currently leading the way, the only man with 3 tops.
Tomoe Narasaki in 2nd, Manu Carnoux in 3rd. Yeah, the French team is dominating in the top 6. 3 French guys, top 6 there.
Michaela Tracy there, closest to camera. Women's 4. That wall, we'll see it if the camera keeps moving around, is more steep than it looks. There you see a better angle of it.
2 crowd favorites are going out now. Kyo Naguchi and Sean McCall. Interesting to see if what they can do.
Here is Akio.
So static on this move, in really control. She's known for technique and solid ways to climb, and no problems for her.
Yeah, it's great to have Akio on form. Quite look herself. Initially, she was 4th in Meiringen. Not a bad result by any means, making the final. Her home World Cup of Kato 20th. Had a week to forget top to bottom, but then very much came back in Chongqing, was 2nd and backed it up with 3rd in Mumbai. So no wins yet this year for Akio Naguchi, but
You've seen Sean flashing the slab in the background. He's really looking forward to make his first final of the year. He's desperate to make finals. Alban Lavier looking strong here.
now that was a fantastic timing on commentator's curse. We see a replay of Sean McCall here. No problem, he's got that very light style when he jumps.
He has this really unique style, Sean. He's known for providing a good show for the spectators, and I would like to see him in finals. I mean, it's kind of feels unfortunate he's been 7th for so long.
The poor guy seems to have had a monopoly on 7th. But it'd be great to have him into the finals. Here's Petra Klingler. Women's 3. Now the higher one of these 2 volumes is better, but she doesn't seem to be having too much trouble holding the lower one. She needs to get the top part of that ring. No.
Interesting fact about Petra is that she's also doing the ice climbing World Cups, which is it's something a bit unusual for most of the rock climbers or boulders, but she follows the Ice World Cup and she does extremely well there. And yeah, this is also a big part of why she's so physically strong. Yeah, it's good for her to do both, I guess. It's interesting.
Absolutely. If you've ever done difficult mixed climbing or dry tooling or indeed steep ice, you'll understand just how physical mixed and ice climbing is. As we watch Michaela Tracy here.
Also really strong performances from her in this season. I mean, making semifinals consistently. She didn't make finals this year, even though she made her first final in the World Championships in 2014, which was also her first semifinal. And yeah, she looks strong in all the comps, and she's really looking for this final. She's also really emotional. That's a thing.
Getting a little frustrated there. Got a minute left though. You can see what the climbing is taken out of her. Breathing heavily. As we watch Alban Levier pull on. Men's 4 does it dynamically and
So
makes it
strong
work.
from Alban.
So strong, killed that swing. So he'll lead with the left hand, there it goes. Matches, then it's a move over to the right.
Really cool shot here. You see Kokuru progressing on the red volume from the back.
Alban Levier. He latches to second to last hole. Does he latch the last one?
So close for him.
He does.
Oh, 2 tops in 1 shot. You see his faces watching each other. So Kokuru knows that Alban topped this climb now, and he knows that he needs to top it. And I think it's really cool.
Great shot there. As you say, Kokoro Fuji knows exactly what he needs to do, having seen that.
4, 3,
Roland Rugens, not quite that time.
Yeah, it was crazy. Alban fought his way, climbed from his heart, you can say. Look at this. Also, why you should follow those climbing on social media. You can see Alban's new training video. He is ridiculously powerful. That's insane.
There we see it as he goes for that right hand, repositions his feet, wait for it, there it is, goes to the left. Not a great hold that, but he looked pretty solid on it. And he just had enough to get that right hand up. Didn't look like there was a lot of spare in that final move.
Look at how bad the hole is.
That is a terrible hole by any measure.
And we've seen Dimitri matching in it, and it just gives you a glimpse of how strong those guys are.
So Dimitri's still the only male with 3 tops.
Yep.
That was Katja Zalvine we just saw. We see her reappear in the shot wearing 204. And compatriot Jessie Pilz here, women's 2. Shouldn't have too much trouble with women's 1.
Katrina Posch is still in second, Stasha is still in first, the only 2 girls who made 3 tops. Here's the winner of the last week World Cup, Miho Nanoka. They're one of the most talented climbers in the circuit. Look at this, I mean, it's incredible to watch them climb. It's incredible to watch the Japanese climbers. They have this unique style that makes everything look so easy. I'm excited watching them, really.
Absolutely. Miho Nanaka, 2 third places and a win. She is a real contender. So Jessie Pilz, no trouble with boulder 1.
No trouble with boulder 2.
No trouble with boulder 2. Took the words right out of my mouth. Jessie Pilz, great start for her. So here's Katja Zalvine. 2 tops so far.
She
Needs this.
top.
She does need this. Sits in provisional 6th, but it's very provisional.
You can see that she's holding the screw-ons as Katrina Posch did, which is slightly maybe a better way to do this climb, and especially if you know the hold. It's hold that they've been using in the World Cup for quite some time now, and if you're doing more World Cups and you know these holds, you know where to catch them exactly. Makes it a bit maybe easier.
So here's Katja.
Pushing. Oh.
Final hold, tantalizingly close.
I think it's crucial to go on the right side, the right volume, and then go left, because if you go from the left, it's hard to keep the foot on, like what happened to her. It's
Slightly surreal moment here in the Olympia Halle. The soundtrack from the Pink Panthers just come onto the stereo. Very eerie feel. You might be able to hear it. You see Katja. But first we see her compatriot Jessie Pilz. Left hand just took a second to compose herself. Right hand went to join it. So Katja taking some rest.
It's artistic shot a little bit. You see, actually, it's crazy when you in there when you're competing and you watch the clock and you need to eat to rest. It's so hard to keep yourself calm and tell yourself rest. You need to force yourself. You need to think, go through the boulder, and the timing is so important. You know that if it's a longer boulder, you need to go up a bit earlier. If it's a shorter boulder, you can go up maybe 20 seconds even before the clock finishes.
So Katja going up with a minute left.
But she knows that if she will fall in the beginning, she will have another chance. This is why she went so early. Also, the top part takes a bit time because you need to find the right places to hold. See, now she has another go because she started a bit early.
And you might be able to see us in the background there. There's us all lit up high in the Olympia Halle arena. So Katja, this is crucial. She's in provisional 6th, but it's a very, very provisional. With the amount of climbers still to come, the amount of boulders still to be attempted. It's a very provisional 6th.
Sergei Topishko, one of the stronger unknown climbers of the World Cup. We have a lot of climbers that are coming from a bit smaller countries or that they are more under the radar, but they are really strong. So Sergey is one of them, made finals in Munich, was 8th in Chongqing. I trained with him, he's really, really good. It's funny, those guys have no support, people don't know them, but they are so good. Maybe
we just saw a shot, sorry to interrupt, we just saw a shot of the score there. Catches Arvine did not, top women's 4. Sorry, you were saying?
I mean, it's hard for those athletes to go for all those comps, and I mean, they don't get anything back. Think about traveling all around the world or paying for yourself and then having nothing back. But they are there, they are trying, and they are really strong. Like Roland here.
Like Roland, yes. He was, let's say, finalist in Kazo. No, not that time. We see Sean McCall there.
He actually, fun fact about Roland, that he couldn't train properly in the gym that they had in Latvia, so he built his own gym in order to train for the World Cups. And I trained in his gym, and it's really good gym to train for the World Cups, and he owns it, and yeah, it's important. Sean progressing through number 2, looking for his second top here, and really want to top this one.
This is Martin Stranick here in the foreground. Don't forget, first World Cup of the season, Meiringen, and he was second, but for a bonus hold, could have won it.
Sean is looking extremely strong. Second flash for him. We'll put him in 3rd place, I believe, because of bonuses, but if we keep it that way, he will be in the finals.
So here's Akira Noguchi, women's 2. And we have our first look at Monica Recchi. She was delighted to be on the podium last week.
Top for Petra Klinder in the back. That's good for her. But she's currently in 5th place, tied with Berit. Here's Kukuru Fuji, one of the stronger climbers.
Not that time.
Really hard problem.
Kukuru Fuji not currently in the position to make the final. So he needs that. Here's Petra Klingler. Women's 4. Great shot, you can see the look on her face. And the look on her face now is a big smile. 2 tops for her.
It's good to see Petra climbs all the time. She's always smiling. It's nice to see people that are always smiling and happy while they're climbing.
You have to enjoy these occasions. Semi-final in Innsbruck doesn't come around every week. So Petra Klingler moves up to joint 5th. Here's Monica Recchi.
Monica looking extremely well this year, going for the top. Yes, top for her.
Second last time out in Mumbai.
She wasn't consistent until this year, and she had good results. I mean, she made semifinals, finals, but this year she's looking more confident and really doing well. Second in Kazo, finals in Chongqing, I believe. Yeah. Strong performance for her.
Yeah, she's 25th in Meiringen, but since then, 8th, 6th, 2nd. Very good season so far. So, Kukuru Fuji.
15 seconds to go. He knows he needs to hurry.
Well, we'll have a look at how this affects the scores shortly. We're watching first go with the left hand. No.
That was close, really close.
He
That's
knows,
it.
He knows that mattered.
It will hurt him as well.
So Kokura Fuji will not be in the final. 8th place. Could end up lower.
Time for Alexei Rubtsov to take the advantage here. We'll see how it goes for him.
Is that speculation? You think
The,
Alexei will do well today?
The top 3 of the overall ranking are really tight this year. There are just 7 points separating between Alexei and Kokuru. So it's interesting to see this World Cup here is really crucial for the overall ranking.
We get a close-up of Jessie Pilz, one of the many Austrian climbers here.
Former Youth World Champion. I believe she was 2nd at Youth Worlds this year in Arco. Sorry. And yeah, really strong climber.
Now here's Solsa, 3 from 3 so far. She makes it 4 from 4. You would think that would absolutely guarantee a final place.
I think she actually 3 and 5, but three tops and 5.
So-
She's in 2nd place.
3 in 3, yeah. 3 boulders from
Yeah.
3 tops and 3 boulders. Sorry, yes.
I think it might be enough for final.
Could well be, yep. We've currently got 4 women who have 3 tops, one of whom is Solsa, but if she can make it 4 tops, that should be enough. Just saw Miho Nanaka there, popping off. Solsa, there she is.
All right,
four
for
tops
sure
from
final,
boulders.
for sure.
She looked really strong in the qualifiers and semis in Mumbai 6 days ago. We were talking earlier about the travel schedule. It's been great fun for us, and it doesn't seem to have had any effect on Solsa. She's absolutely fine. 4 from 4. Take a miracle for that not to be enough.
The rising star, Jana Gabriel here, pushing her way to the top. Yeah, she's incredibly talented. She did a few Lead World Cups last year. She got 2nd in those Lead World Cups. Crazy. And here it is, Nathan Phillips, the underdog of this competition. His first, 2nd semi-final in the World Cup, and he qualified 2nd place. It's unbelievable. He was really happy with his performance yesterday. He should have. Really cool to see him doing so well.
So if you are just joining us, if you've been out climbing this morning, or if you're in North America just waking up, we have the semi-finals here from the Olympia Halle in Innsbruck, joined by Alex Kazanov, who climbed yesterday in the qualifiers. And we have our images from Austrian TV, so you'll have to forgive them if there is a slight focus on the Austrian athletes. If you can't focus on your own athletes in your home competition, when can you? Jessie Pilz not getting on with women's 3 so far. Miho Nanaka getting on just fine with women's 2 though.
Looks like she's on her way to another final.
It's early days, but I agree.
Maybe another win, who knows?
Well, she's very ambitious. We spoke to her.
Look at her face, she's so calm, she's so confident.
So focused. We spoke to her last week after her win, and straight away she said, yes, one day I want to win the overall. No messing about. Just won her first World Cup, already thinking about winning the overall.
But he always wanted.
Absolutely, but I was impressed by her ambition.
Yeah.
So, Sergei Tufishko, here he goes. Men's 2.
You always have something to do in climbing. We've seen Adam Ondra when he won the Lead World Cup. He said, I want to win both, boulder and lead. Why not? You can always improve.
He's greedy, but that's a good thing.
It's ambitious. I wouldn't call it greedy.
So Jessie Pilz so far not had a lot of joy with women's 3. Powerful boulder this. Now as we pan out, there are 2 white rings. The top,
This
the
sequence
top side
there,
of-
it's
the
a
top-
really barrier.
yeah, the top side of those the highest of the two rings is the bit you're aiming for. Didn't quite make it.
It's a big barrier there. The holes are pretty bad.
So just a quick recap. Sol Sa has topped 4 from 4 so far. She leads the way in the women's standings ahead of Sasugiho, Megan Mascarenas, Katarina Poch, Berit Schweiger and Petra Kolingler. In the men's, Dmitry Sharafutinov, the only man with 3 tops. Tomohiro Narasaki's got 2. He's currently second. Sean McCall has 2 from 2. Looking to make his first finals. See the rest of the women's results flashing up. You see there, still to come, Anna Sturr. There she is, perfect timing. Thank you, Mr. Austrian director, Anna Sturr.
The local legend, she won countless. If you don't know who Anna Sturr is, you should. You definitely should.
I couldn't agree more. We filmed a feature with Anna Sturr on Wednesday, I think it was. Great to work with and a true professional and a legend of the sport. To give you an idea, Anna Sturr, she's from, well, she's not quite from Innsbruck, she's from the village of Rum, 5 k's away. She's won 22 World Cups. You did hit that right. 22 World Cup wins with a further 17 podiums. And it would be safe to say there's nowhere she wants to win more than in Innsbruck. She's lived here her whole life, still lives here, 15-minute bike ride away from the venue. She will be desperate to win here.
Here's a recap. Sean McCall flashing his 3rd boulder, and Roland Rugens flashing M number 4. That is really impressive. Really, really impressive.
If you can see the clock on our screen, and on that shot there's a clock in the background, we were watching a replay then, so if the 2 clocks don't align, because we're watching a replay. There's Anna Sturr. Compose yourself. There's a little video with Anna Sturr that we filmed yesterday on our Facebook page, IFSC Facebook page, where you can check out her thoughts on the competition, why she enjoys competing here. Sleeping in her own bed and riding her bike to work, both featured. Here on Women's 1, she needs this. That's much more solid.
Looking for the top. Good job.
As I said earlier, 22 World Cup wins for overall Boulder World Cup wins, first of which came in 2008. She is a true legend of the sport.
She was.
And wasn't a flash, but Boulder won in the bag.
It was one season that she won 7 out of 8 World Cups, and then was second in the last one. It's
when she's on form, Anna Sturr, she's close to unstoppable. And here's Jene Kruder, Slovenia.
If you wonder about his hair, he does it before every World Cup.
He has been keeping us entertained, that's for sure. He was co-commentating for the finals in Chongqing. I remember I felt so sad for him. Before we went on air, he said, I wish I was competing. The final feels like my home and I'm not there. So he is desperate to make a final.
He is.
He's had enough of what's not been a great year so far.
A small recap about the men's results. They changed a little bit now. Sean is 3 of 3, so 3 tops and 3 tries. So I think it's pretty safe to say that he's in his first final of the season. I don't think a lot of people can do better than this. Second is Dmitry Sharafutinov with 3 tops, Tomohiro Narasaki 2 flashes, and Roland Rugens is in first place with 2 flashes as well. So Roland is in a bit of the dangerous spot, but I think Sean and Dmitry are pretty much in the final.
Sean McCall, remember, not made a final yet this year. He's been a very notable absentee for the finals. This competition, we have some very notable absentees in the semi-finals. Jan Hoyer, Jörg Verhoeven, Jakob Schubert, to mention but 3. From Sam Kelmanov to Kuru Hori, the list goes on. Lots of surprises.
Yeah, I think actually in the semi-final the route setter is doing a good job. the moment that look at the results, they're pretty much spread out.
Yeah, we just recapped the results for you, and then you can see it's Sean McCall. 3 from 3 so far. And Megan Mascarenas there, 4 from 4. Along with Sol Sa. We didn't have many shots of Megan Mascarenas. She obviously had an extremely good semi-final. 4 from 4, as I say, we didn't see much of her, very low key.
She's really calm about her climbing. She never does a lot of noise when she tops or anything. So it's actually, when if you're not paying attention, you would miss her because she climbs so quietly and she's so talented, and she won the World Cup, and yeah, and I can say she can win today as well.
She is a contender today, as is that woman on the left there, Miho Nanaka. She won 6 days ago in Mumbai.
So solid from Miho. Look at this power. Feels like she's really comfortable on this style of climbing. Jessie here, pulling really hard with the shoulders, searching for this screw on there that we're talking about before.
It is tiny, but it makes all the difference, that small screw on that black volume. She's eyeing the top hold. She's got the top hold.
Top for her, and maybe top for Mio. Top for Mio, just for you.
Top for Mio, yes. You saw it just land on the mats there.
It's the second place in the World Cup ranking this year. Alexei Rubtsov looking for another final here, another win maybe. He really needs that in order to take over the World Cup.
Yeah, Alexei Rubtsov won in Meiringen. 2015, he did one World Cup and won that as well.
And the interesting thing about the World Cup he won last year, that he was climbing on rocks for 3 weeks before he went to this World Cup, and then he won, which is easily could be one of the craziest things I've heard of, because you need to train so much the specific style and plastic in order to win, and then he just came up to the rocks and killed it.
And you can see the men's results flashing up there bit by bit. Kokoro Fuji, a notable absentee.
There's Misha Dikoraz looking to top this climb.
Yeah, so Kokoro Fuji, a notable absentee from the final, I was about to say, as we watch Misha Pikoraz.
Looking good in the pinch, campusing his way up, so strong for Misha.
Second in Kazo, he's already been on a World Cup podium this year. Can he add to his tally? He'll need to go with the left hand here.
Come on, bro.
Alex Kazanov, my co-commentator, one of Misha's closest friends.
See Nathan Phillips in the back climbing up his way on M2. It is a really hard finish. We've seen just a number of climbers doing it, and yeah, we can see that it's extremely hard. I think this black hold is really not easy.
Now here's men's 3, compression boulder.
Sergei Topisho looking to make his second World Cup final here with this problem. Bit a different beta that we've seen most of the guys do.
Nathan Phillips there, just having a look at the other boulders. Got work to do on his first though. And Misha, that attempt clearly took a lot out of him. He's taking a longer rest here.
As I said before, you need to be really calculated with the rest, and Misha is already really comfortable with the semi-final. He made a lot of them, and so he knows how to rest and when to climb. He's a bit more experienced in that. Just keeping the crimp here, campusing again, strong. Bit different method here with the hand, not working for him. That's it for him.
Looks slightly disconsolate as he walks off.
No,
Effectively his home World Cup.
I think 13th place is okay for him. He had good time competing in Innsbruck 2 years ago. He was in the finals. His year was 7th. Looks like he likes it here.
Now Sean McCall, there we see him 3 from 3, 3 flashes from 3. He's just come out, and also you can see just how big this venue is. You can see how far the far end of the wall is a long way away. So women's result, Megan Mascaredas, who, as we said, we barely saw her on screen. Very low key. Her and Sol Sa, the only climbers with a perfect record of 4 from 4. And you can possibly just caught a glimpse of her in the purple top, Shauna Coxey, runaway leader of the overall World Cups this year. 9th last time out in Mumbai, but she's won the other 3 events so far this year.
Sean won the 2 World Cup stars.
Yep, John won John, there he is. Just got to get that right foot up, there it is. Flexibility key on that movie.
Didn't start the season with the best way, but he's definitely looking like he's more concentrated now, and he's looking to compensate on his lack of finals in the beginning of the year. Yep, flash for him is definitely looking to go to finals again.
Very calm, and it's not a particularly physical problem that, but he will get an extra 3.5 minutes, as there's Martin Stranik. Czech Republic topping men's 3. Here's Shauna Coxey, 2:01.
Shauna is looking a bit rattled.
Not getting on so well with that move.
Hopefully we won't see the same thing that happened to her in India, and she can keep calm and kind of stay on her path.
Here's Anna Stur. Every time Anna Stur nails a move, there's a big cheer from the crowd. There could be an even bigger one here. There we go. Anna Stur, 2 from 2 so far.
A little update. Sean McCall just flashed number 4, and he's 4 flashes and 4. He's definitely in. 4 and 5. I'm sorry, 4 and 5.
Second attempt.
Second attempt.
So Sean McCall, not made a final this year. Flashes the first 3, gets the final boulder on his second go. There's a man with a point to prove, as if he needed it to prove anything with the career he's had. But 2016, it hasn't been his year so far. He is back. He will be in the final.
Looks really fit. I mean, super controlled on this one.
Sean, one of the climbers that went to Nanjing in the Boulder World Cup week off. So he's now been away from home since before Meiringen. So he enjoys life on the road, as many of us do. And it doesn't seem to be having any adverse effect whatsoever.
He is
Sean,
one of the better athletes, per se.
a great athlete, an all-round climber, competes in all 3 disciplines, as we saw. Shauna Coxey topping women's 1 didn't look quite as convincing as some of the athletes, but she got the job done. And here's Monica Recchi on women's 3.
Look at her mashing this hold. Really trying to push there.
Now then, just out of shot, but there is one white ring. There it is, the second one above it. The top section of the higher one is the most positive part of the holds. Does Monica know that though? I think she does, and there she gets it. She can just get herself in balance. She'll probably jump from here. She does, and she tops it.
Look at how happy she is.
I think that was closer than it might have looked. She looks a bit upset about something and not quite sure what the shake of the head was for.
I thought it's a relief, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, hard to tell. There was obviously some emotion. Here's Yane. Probably will not have time for another go on men's 2. No, I don't think he will. Don't forget your short bag. There it is.
As I said, you need 3 tops and not a lot of attempts for the girls, and Monica is currently in 3 tops and 10 attempts, which means she's currently out of the finals if she's not going to top out the last one.
So, new leader in the women's competition, 4 flashes and 4 boulders, Akira Noguchi. Well, we didn't see a huge amount of Akira Noguchi either. If you're just joining us, myself and Alex Kazanov here are live in Innsbruck for the semi-finals of this Boulder World Cup, and we are having our pictures provided to us by Austrian TV, and there is a slight focus on the Austrian athletes, so we didn't see a lot of Akira Noguchi and we didn't see a lot of Megan Mascarenas, but we can tell you that both of them topped all 4 boulders. Akio flashed them all. She is really hitting her stride, Akira Noguchi, as is this woman, Miho Nanaka.
And Yanya in the back as well. You can hear the Japanese team cheering for Miho. They are a big team in this comp and really supportive for each other.
They're a fun team, the Japanese lot. We'll just watch Miho. Now she'll go up with the left hand onto that other volume. There it is. Now there is a small bolt on that she'll be aiming for higher up on the volume.
You can see how bad it is. Here we go, the ball hold as you said.
Now if she can get this, that will be 4 from 4.
Yes.
It is 4 from 4. Miho Nanaka. Yeah, the Japanese team will be delighted with that. One of the most fun teams. Actually, last Monday we ran into them on a train in Mumbai. We all had the same idea that it might be fun to take the train in Mumbai, and the whole Japanese team were there thoroughly enjoying the experience. And I would imagine finding it a lot less crowded than Tokyo.
Actually, the best part of our sport is that we all really supportive. We all good friends, and this is why also I like climbing. That it's such a friendly environment.
Here's Melissa Lenev. We just saw top from Yanya Gambre. Melissa Lenev. Now she's going up for one of these unusual holds made by Fatak, our Iranian route setter. You can only grab them in a very specific place, and Melissa Lenev grabs them both exactly in the right place. No problem for her, smiling as ever.
Looking for maybe a first World Cup win. She never won a World Cup. She was second a few times, quite a few times, especially this year, but she never won a World Cup. And
I think if you were compiling a list of the best climbers never to win a World Cup, Melissa Lenev would certainly be in that list. Last week in Mumbai, you suspected she might have a chance of Shauna Coxey out, but came 4th. But she's very much a threat.
it is like the guys that never won an Oscar. She's like the Leonardo DiCaprio of the climbing.
I was going to say the Leonardo DiCaprio of female rock climbing. It's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Here's Alexei Rubtsov, men's 2, no.
The contender to win the overall here.
Absolutely.
He still has some time left, so he can top it. He needs to top it, I think. Yeah, Alexei is one of the smarter guys involving his training. He knows where to train, when to rest.
So, Sergei Topishko, men's 4. Interesting boulder. Various ways of doing it. Pretty much all of them involve jumping. I suppose it can just about be done statically. We might see him attempt it.
Nathan is progressing.
No, he still has a small jump. Nathan, you can see behind him, Nathan Phillips. On men's 3, Sergei Topishko in the foreground. Left hand. No need for the feet, right hand. Now he sets himself, he'll lead. I was about to say he'll lead with the left. Most climbers have gone with the left there. Sergei went with the right. Didn't seem to work for him, and Nathan Phillips is making his way off the stage. We will see if he topped that. I don't think he did.
Sergei is one of the taller climbers here. So he thought he could go right hand. I think he could. That was really close.
So the stage very briefly empty, and as I say, from that shot you can see just how big this stage is. We are in the Winter Olympic Stadium, or arena I suppose. Now quite the lineup on stage in the women's event. Monica Recchi there on the right, local hero Anna Sturr in the middle, and Shauna Coxey, winner of 3 World Cups so far this season, on the left. There's Anna, is figuring it out. With an Austrian director, I suspect we're going to be seeing plenty of Anna Sturr.
I would like to see her back in finals. You know, I would really love that. She's one of the nicer climbers to watch. Her style is amazing, and yeah, I can't say more.
It would be great to have her back. A true legend of the sport in her hometown. Innsbruck finals are a better place when Anna Sturr's in them. Here she goes, looking very solid so far on women's 3. She'll pop up, I'd imagine, to that. There she is, the second ring. Position the foot, not looking to have too much trouble so far. There we go. And you hear the reaction of the crowd. The music just seems to get pumped up that bit louder, and the crowd cheer that bit more when Anna Sturr tops the boulder. So we have 4 females who topped all 4 boulders. Akira Noguchi, Miho Nanaka, Sol Sa, and Megan Mascarenas. Yanya Garbre has 3, as does Sasagiho. Monica Recchi also has 3, and she's on boulder 4.
So Changwon looking to flash number 2. Yeah, and good flash for him. 2 from 2. Currently in 6th place. I think might be
probably needs to do more. 2 from 2 so far, but he'll probably need another top to absolutely guarantee it. There's Shauna Coxey. Didn't quite look herself last week in Mumbai, but 2 tops from 2 so far today. Here's Martin Stranick. You'd have thought he'll get on with this boulder. Or perhaps not. Sorry, Martin.
Again, might be a bit tired. It's the last boulder, so physical, it's hard to do. If the boulder was first, I believe that we could see more tops, but especially after the boulder like this red one with the volumes, it's so hard to be fresh. You know, it takes so much power.
There's no translation needed for Mine there. That won't be counted. See how close he was. Let's see how he came off here. Yeah, it's just his momentum pulled him backwards.
You can see the sweat of his fingers.
Yep. Here's Monica Recchi looking to make it 4 from 4, we believe. Let's just concentrate on the action for now.
She needs to top it, otherwise she won't make finals. She needs to top this boulder.
Bit of fatigue, looking like it was coming in there. Slightly snatch movement, but surely the adrenaline will see her through.
Looking for the bolt hold, but decided to go shoulder.
As soon as that foot peeled off, you worried it might be too much. So right now, she hasn't done enough to make it. Needs this.
Martin Stranick here, trying to campus this thing again. We've seen a lot of guys skipping this hold. Looks like it might be the better way to do it.
Here's Janae Crudy, had both hands on the top before. Not as close this time.
He is tired. He is tired.
Martin Stranick, we saw him there. There's a lot riding on that. If he can top that boulder, you would have thought that would be enough to guarantee a final place. We shall see. Here's Monica Recchi topping this. would imagine would see her into the finals. Could well come down to attempts. We'll see. The maths can wait. Let's focus on the action. Time a factor? No, not for Monica Recchi.
No finals for her this comp, unfortunately.
Not this time. Second in Mumbai was a fantastic result for her. So there's Janja Garmreit and Melissa Linev behind her. And to the right, one of the brushing team. Not quite as busy as the brushers were in Mumbai last week, but it's still fairly warm in here. And as it fills up, particularly during the finals, it will only get warmer. So there we see Sean McCall, a man that's not made a final. How's that for a statement? 4 tops from 4.
Alexei needs to flash this boulder right now if he wants to make the finals here.
The 2 Italians who we discussed earlier, Gabriele Baroni and Stefan Scarperi, won't be in the final. We see there the women's, Aki Noguchi, Miho Nanaka, Megan Mascarenas and Sol Sa, all with 4 tops so far. 2 more places in that final, seemingly up for grabs. There's Alexei.
It's really close on the top there. It looks like the last moves of all the climbs are not easy.
Extreme close-up of Nathan Phillips' feet there.
Look at this hold, how bad it is. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. The last moments of the comp are really really important. So Janja here.
Janja Garmreit, that's 4 from 4 for her.
Securing her final here, I think. Actually not.
That's an unusual way of doing it. Knee involved.
She's in a sketchy place.
Worked just fine. She is.
We still have Melissa and Shona going out, which...
So there are currently 5 women who've topped all 4 boulders, so attempts will be absolutely crucial. Aki Noguchi flashed all 4, she'll be fine. Even those with 4 tops. Still be a bit nervous right now though. Here's Nathan Phillips. What can he do, men's boulder 4? Tries it a slightly different way this time. No, reconsiders.
I think, yeah. We have Tomoa here in 4th place, securing his final, and that means that you have a big advantage for the overall World Cup title if Alexei will not pull something from his bag and do the 2 problems.
One thing we know about Alexei Rubtsov, he won't give up.
No. He knows for his pushing beyond skills.
Yes, mentally very, very tough. Now he's absolutely flown up this boulder so far. Bit of fatigue coming in, but not to hit. No, not this time. Frustration beginning to kick in. Hurriedly says to the brusher, give that a clean. As you see there, Melissa Linev, the only woman currently out on the stage. She's going to need to top everything without many attempts. So a lot of pressure on Melissa here.
She needs to top it, otherwise Janja will secure her final in the 5th position.
So time possibly becoming an issue here for Melissa. Got 20 seconds for these final moves. Repositioning that left hand. Can't quite get it settled. 15 seconds now. Whatever she does, she needs to do it quickly. No. And that will be the end of Melissa's Innsbruck World Cup.
I think it's also really hard to climb one of the less climbers out. I mean, I'm sorry about saying Janja was secured. I forgot about Anna Stor for a second.
Hard to forget Anna Stor in Innsbruck.
Yeah, I thought
Here
she already.
It can be very difficult figuring out the maths. There's us in the background. That blurred light. It's not a UFO. It is our commentary position. Yes, Anna Stor. Still to go. So Shauna Coxey's top 2 from 2, but she's used more attempts. They will become a factor. As I say, the maths is for a bit later on. For now, focus on the action. They know they need to top everything though. Here's Anna Stor. 3 tops, 7 attempts so far.
No, you know what? If she tops it, she will have. Yeah.
It's going to be very, very close. Anna really needs a flash here. And she's looking extremely composed to this point.
Flash.
Big cheer. The venue MC doesn't even pretend to be neutral. There's Shauna Coxey, calm as you like. Well, this women's competition is nip and tuck. I might leave Alex Kazanov to do the maths.
So
he's got his head in his hand, trying to calculate the outcomes here.
One of those girls won't make finals. Just for you to know, one of those girls who was just climbed here won't make finals.
Okay. So we have 6 climbers in the women's competition with 4 tops. However, Shauna Coxey has not yet attempted the final boulder. So we could have more than 6 climbers with 4 successful tops, at which point attempts will become absolutely crucial. We saw there Anna Stor topping her 4th to make it 4 from 4, but 8 attempts. She currently 66th.
She got, she needs to flash the bonus, and she got 2 attempts for the top, Shauna. If I'm not, yeah.
Okay, I haven't even looked at the score for it closely, so we'll take your word for it. That sounds plausible.
As for the guys, Chongwon just secured his 3rd consistent final.
Yeah, we said beforehand in the men's competitions you probably need 3 tops to make the final. You won't need 3. 3 is enough to get you into the top 3, if that makes sense.
Another interesting thing happened because we were really looking for the girls, but Jarne Kruder did the unbelievable and flashed number 4 and is currently in 4th place. It's unbelievable. I love the semi-final, you know. Amazing job by the setters. It's full of surprises.
And Yane, according to the scores,
oh wow,
let's have a look where he is now. All changed.
Oh,
so
wow.
we have a good look at the venue.
Or they didn't count it. I don't know what's up with the scores for a second.
Breathless
Maybe
stuff.
I am wrong.
We will confirm. It was initially showed up on the venue score system that Yane had flashed that final problem. We will get to the bottom of that. On the scoreboard that you can see in the middle of your screen there, did show him?
He didn't. For some reason it was. Never mind. My bad.
I think that's him. Yeah, the scoring man here at the venue got a bit ahead of himself. So, just to confirm, Yane Kruder is climbing boulder 4.
Well,
There he is. That's not your... No mistake from Alex there. We were looking at the live scoreboard and they got a bit carried away. Here is Yane. Just trying to figure out how to best use those feet.
really hard position. Just almost is. I think he's sweaty. I think. I don't know.
So, time a real issue now, you know.
Roland.
seconds left. This is going to have to be an incredible piece of climbing if he's going to go from the bottom to the top in 20 seconds. Make that 15 already. Straight through, misses the crimp. He'll move now with the right hand. No, he won't. The wait goes on for Yane Kruder to make a final in 2016.
Here is Roland Rugens is cutting his nails now.
So if the scoreboard that we're looking at in the venue is correct, Roland Rugens is currently in 6th place.
To flash, so that means if Alexei will flash number 4, Alexei will kick out Roland.
Oh, it's like Mumbai last week all over again. The possibilities are endless. Here's Melissa Lenev. She won't be going to the final. Didn't top boulder 3. You need 4 tops to make the final, and attempts are crucial. So Melissa won't be making the final, but of course the climbers do get ranking points for finishing higher up. So there's still a lot at stake in the overall rankings.
Especially for Melissa when she's going for the overall. I mean, it's important to have good results in all the comps.
Very important. So, Melissa Lenev just giving those holds a clean. Melissa Lenev currently down in 14th. That would net her 24 ranking points. Here's Alexei Rubtsov. It'd be interesting to know how aware he is of what is required here. Needs to make this dynamic swing work.
So impressive by Alexei.
Very strong guy. To see him here, it's like a slightly different approach to some of the other climbers.
That's it. Our finals is set. I think he might know that.
He might well know that from his reaction.
Roland Rugens makes the finals again in 6th place, like he did in Kazo. Good job for him.
Great job, Rugen.
As I said before, once you do finals once, I think it's a bit easier to do it the second time. So he is really happy with this. Also, Tomoa Narasaki will be really happy for his overall.
There's Melissa Lenev. That'll be 3 tops for her. Had it not been for boulder 3, it might have been so much more.
Currently in 7th place.
Currently in 7th place.
Flashback to China. In China, she was 7th.
It's worth remembering, in the overall standings, 6th place gets you 47 overall ranking points. 7th place, it only gets you 4 less. You get 43. So, although it's disappointing to miss the finals, it's only a 4-point difference in the overall points awarding. So Melissa will know that, but you can see in this huge Olympic venue, she'd just be sad not to be climbing. As we see there, the women's results. So you need 4 tops to make the final. So Shauna Coxey will be out next. How many attempts, Mr. Scorekeeper, does she have?
She needs to flash the bonus, and she had 2 tries to do the top. It's a lot of pressure.
She's been put under pressure this year, and normally she's reacted very well. The final boulder in Chongqing, stunning piece of climbing. Alexei, look,
the fatigue is killing him. I talked to Alexei, he's a good friend of mine, and he's exhausted from the traveling. When he came back home from China, he was 6 days at home before he left again to India. Then trained a little bit in Switzerland, then came here. It's really hard when you go for the overall victory.
Worth remembering though, it's the same for everyone. And,
Well,
and Alexei
the only difference is that Japanese climbers did climb in Japan, which is a bit easier for them, but still, I mean, for sure it's hard.
And
That concludes the men semi-final.
So Alexei Rubtsov makes his way out. There we have the men's top 6. We'll recap in 1 second after we watch Shauna Coxey.
All right, this is the money time here.
So we believe she has to flash the bonus. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, it feels like the final for me. It's so exciting.
Absolutely right.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. It's wow.
So Anna Stur currently sits in 6th place. She's got 4 tops, 8 attempts. Shauna Coxey is in 10th place. She's got 3 tops, 7 attempts.
So yeah, she needs to flash it actually. She needs to flash it.
Here's Jong Won Chon. He'll be in the final. We don't have Shauna on screen right now, but she is just standing on the mat. We can see her over at the far side of the venue. She's a long way from us. It's a huge arena. She's probably at least 50 meters away, but she hasn't left the mat yet. You might just be able to make her out on the far side of the far mat. So, high drama here.
Pulls
Shauna
on the
Coxey
wall.
sets off.
Pulls on the wall.
She used up more attempts than some of the girls on Boulder 1. Will that come back to haunt her? If she takes the place of Anna Stur in the final, she probably won't have many beers bought for her in Innsbruck tonight, but she won't care about that. Tension here. The venue MC is trying to encourage Shauna despite her direct competition with Innsbruck local Anna Stur.
Let's see. One more
Looking
hold
very
for her.
controlled.
One more hold for her.
Gets it.
Yes! Flash for Shauna. She's in the finals. Oh wow, that was exciting.
Oh, Shauna Coxey. Second time this season after that final in Chongqing where she was under real pressure, and how's that for delivering?
Wow.
That has not been updated just yet. Here's Jong Won Chon.
Wow, that was unbelievable, really. You know, the mental strength of a climber, just giving everything when he knows that it's all or nothing. It's incredible.
Add to that the difficulties she had in Mumbai last week. I mean, no disaster, finishing 9th to most people, but when you've won the first 3 World Cups of the year, it felt like a bit of a blip for Shauna Coxey, and that's how you come back from it. Here's Jong Won Chon. He will be in the final later on. We're live at 8:15 p.m. Innsbruck time. Make sure you join us then.
We might see 2 finalists? Wait a second. So if Shauna and Anna were tied in the semi-final, because they were tied in the qualifications, that means we have both of them in the final, which is even more exciting. I don't know.
Well, Innsbruck providing high drama already.
Actually, the comp is organized very well. Yeah.
We see Jong Won Chon here. I don't know if he's aware he's already in the final. All he needs to do is look at that huge scoreboard up and behind him.
I know that some climbers prefer not to look at the scoreboard at all.
He could save himself some energy here though, because this is a physical boulder.
And they're climbing just in a few hours, so...
Yes.
seconds to top it, and he tops it just before the buzzer. Wow. Well, what can I say? It's the World Cup winner. He knows the deal. Also the youth world champion, by the way.
That's why he is the reigning World Cup champion. He looks very happy with himself. Him and his partner Sol Sao will both be in the final. You see him here, just steadies himself using that right hand. Just to remind you, this is a replay of Jongwon Chon. Up with the left hand. That's a terrible hold. You wouldn't know it. So there we see in the men's competition, Sean McCall. How's that for a response? Hasn't made a final this year. 4 from 4 in this semi-final. He'll be joined by Jongwon Chon, Dmitry Sharafutinov, Marcin Stranik, Tomohiro Narasaki and Roland Rugens. Alexei Rubtsov down in 16th.
Wouldn't be happy with this result for the overall. Good for him that the worst result is not counted for the overall. But
and for the women, Akira Noguchi and Miho Nanaka lead the way. The Japanese pair, Megan Mascarenas, Sol Sai, Yanni Gambre, Shauna Coxiana Store and Melissa Lenev. Monica Recchi not able to follow up on her second place last week from Mumbai. Katja Zalvine, another finalist from last week, also out. Well, Innsbruck always puts on a fantastic show, and so far it is delivering today. Huge thanks to Alex Kazanov for joining me. We are live at 8:15 p.m. Innsbruck time for the finals. Don't miss it. See you then.